Hi guys, we're going to look at the timing of mambo and then salsa, salsa breaking on one and salsa breaking on two, and then how the breaking on two in salsa is different than the mambo, which also breaks on two. Sometimes we'll hear it just described as salsa on one or salsa on two, and that's referring to the break. The break being the rock step. Breaks are forward, sideways, back. It's that rocking action that we call the break. So we'll start with mambo because mambo came before salsa. Some people say salsa is a street version or maybe a more modern version of mambo. It's really a little bit different timing. The mambo is difficult for people because of the starting on two. We instinctively want to move on one. And usually we can feel one. I'm not going to say here, because what makes it very difficult for people to start on time two is when they stand with no movement and intellectually try to find a particular beat. We have natural rhythm in our bodies, and if you let yourself move, if you tap your foot or your hand, you move from foot to foot, usually if you don't overthink it, you can find the rhythm. Maybe you'll find every other beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we typically want to move onto the one. And so the mambo, we wait and we start on the second beat. So let's go back a little further to where that all came from. And that's, of course, not essential for you and to dance to the music, but it helps to understand where things came from. So a lot of the Latin American music, when it was first coming to the States, was all in the rumba or son vein. And so the teachers started to use the box step as a structure to dance to that music. And we can actually dance the box steps to also the mambo and salsa type of music. As the music became faster and the dancers wanted to turn faster, the box became looser and looser. So we have this more open box. We still call it a box. We still call it a mambo box, but it's in that structure of allowing the feet to be open. But I could be dancing that structure and then change my quick into the box and use that to turn. So that can still be done. And you'll see, we say the two rumbas. In the Fred Astaire national chain, they kept the original Guaracha rumba to the side and then forward. So there they danced their one on the side step, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Some music actually feels better on that rhythm. In the Arthur Murray chain, they danced the slower one, which was going on the slow forward on the 1, and then the quick is on the 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those different timings are still used in rumba. So we have different timings in rumba, different timings in salsa. However, if you're dancing mambo, you must break on the 2. And we're going to talk about that and how that's different than the 2 in salsa. Another thing you keep in mind if you're having trouble getting started, and this even happens to beginners in waltz once they can identify the rhythm of the 1, 2, 3. They'll hear it sometimes 1 and then go afterward. So once you establish that rhythm and tempo, you need to be prepared ahead of time, anticipating, letting your weight move so you can arrive on 1 and not hear 1 and then go. So this happens then in mambo, which is very fast, and people will jump and try to land on that count. So you need to prepare the body. So let's talk just very briefly about that, about rhythm, tempo, and timing. So the rhythm then would be the repetition of accented beats and the time signature. So most everything is 2/4, 4/4, that's even. But if it's a 3/4, there's an accent every 3 beats, it's a waltz. So that's the most clear. So then if you have 2/4 or 4/4, what makes the difference then would be where those beats maybe are accented and what is the instrumentation and therefore the feel. So if there's Latin instrumentation, it's 4/4, it's even. You hear Latin instrumentation, it's something in the Latin family. And from there, then you go to tempo, which is speed and feeling. Okay, so if it's much faster, it would be the mambo or the salsa, and as that same rhythm slows down, then we have cha-cha. So you have the rhythm, repetition of an accented beat, and then you have tempo, how fast is that going, and what kind of steps can you do. Can't do a triplet or cha-cha that fast if it's a salsa. So you look at the speed. And then the timing, what is timing? The timing then is your ability to put your foot on the proper beat when it comes up. So timing then is that physical skill of being able to dance on that rhythm. Okay. So originally then, the clave was the instigator of where that break would be. Now I looked for my clave, I could not find them, but the clave is the two sticks that are hit together, and you can hear that not in every Latin American piece, but in a lot of them. And the clave is an off-time rhythm that's played usually over 2 bars. So if I would clap let's say the clave starting on the 2/3, if I have 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do the clave on the 1, 2, 3, and then the 1 and 4. So that's an off kilter. That's part of what gives it that urge, is that I'm not dancing or feeling the clave on each individual beat. It's sort of the and of the 3 into the 4. So the 2, 3 of that first bar, 1, 2, 3, that's clear, and then 1 is clear, and then the 3 goes by, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it gives you that little thrust. So that's the reason we talk about that breaking on clave would mean wherever that 2, 3 would be expressed, that would be that forward break. So if I have 8 counts of music, which would be enough for a full basic, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have the less emphasized 1 because we're going to wait to hear the clave. 1, 2, 3. So let's count a phrase now of 8 or 2 bars of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stay with the 4 so that I can say the clave on that second bar. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 4, 2, 3, 1 and 4, 2, 3. Right? So that's what we would feel breaking on clave. Now sometimes the clave is on the second bar. 1 and 4, 2, 3. 1 and 4, 2, 3. So that's where we break. So this then moved on into the cha-cha, where we're also breaking on 2. And in the cha-cha, which is the slower version of the mambo, and still in some areas it's still referred to, as you may hear, of triple mambo. When the mambo is slower, and you can triple that holding step. There's also a double beat on that 4 hand. 2, 3, and double beat 1, 2, 3, and double beat 1. So the cha-cha is a triple version of the mambo. And then from there, the development of the international rumba uses that same sort of mambo box, breaking on 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, different than the square rumba. So now in mambo, we're going to break on 2, 3, we step on 4, and we hold the 1, or move the hip on 1, and then break on 2, 3, step on 4. So you're putting weight into 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And when you see advanced dancers dancing, you may not be able to see that because as you get more experienced, you will do something with that 1 count. 2, 3, 4, little kick, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. Body action, 2, 3, 4. So advanced dancers will express the one in some other way besides putting weight on it. So now this is very different than the way you would dance the salsa on 2. I think I'll go there next because the break is still on the second beat. So now the stepping action, the weight changes on 1 instead of 4. And then we'll dance the 2, 3. So usually if you take a salsa class, they'll be counting it in eights, and they'll count it 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What I'm not doing is counting that other count because it's silent, but it's still there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, hold 4 or move hip on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is really different than the mambo because the slow shows up in a different place. And the start then is typical to start with that same 1, that preparation step that we use in cha-cha. 1, 2, 3, and cha-cha 1. 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8. So that's the difference in the salsa on 2. So just to clarify that then, salsa on 2 is not the same as mambo as a dance because mambo must be danced on that 2, 3, 4 count. And then the salsa on 2 is counted 1, 2, 3, and then you're holding the 4 instead of stepping on the 4 and holding the 1. I said that fast, so I hope that makes sense. So my slow in the mambo would be on 4, 1. I would step on 4, 1, 2, 3. There's my slow. And that lines up then with the salsa on 1, where my slow is going to be in the same spot. So that became sort of the street dance or the easy version because we feel 1, and so we start on 1, and then usually then the men also start forward like they do in mambo. So salsa on 1 is breaking on the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 1, 2, 3, hold 4. Again, most people in class will be counting this in 8 and they'll be silent on the beat that's held. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're not saying that beat, but you need to be aware that it is there. So sometimes for beginners it's confusing when they first go to classes. You might want to count just quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. Most people will instinctively start on 1. That's quite easy. So I'm going to put on a slow piece of music with a great rhythm for, I could dance rumba to this, square rumba. I could dance cha-cha to it. It would be a little fast for cha-cha, but I could do it. Or I could dance salsa or mambo. And I'll use the same piece of music so you can see each one. So I've chosen something slower where you can pay more attention to the rhythm and find something like that to practice to. So that beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Let me count in 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to clap the clave at the first bar on the 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, and 4, 2, 3, 1, and 4, 2, 3. Now, for the mambo, you're going to feel where 1 is. 1, let it go by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I could use some kind of an action for my 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So there's your mambo. Stay with the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Salsa on 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So no matter where I go with my feet, keeping that same breaking action. Salsa on 1. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be a very fast cha-cha. But that's how it began, with these slower pieces of music where you have time to dance a triplet. I hope that helps to explain. It takes a lot of practice if you're going to try to master all those different rhythms. Now for a lady dancer, if you're going to go and dance salsa, depending on the region that you're in, some areas it's more prevalent to be breaking on 1 and some on 2. Some of the guys are moving around all the time and they're breaking on different beats, whether on purpose or not so. But you'll find in your area there'll be more prevalence to one or the other. Around here it just depends on the teachers and what they're teaching. There are groups that break on 2 and groups that break on 1. So suggest for a lady dancer to practice doing both. It's actually good for anyone to practice doing both. But Mambo is mostly, as far as I can see today, is done in the ballroom world. There are some areas around the world where Mambo is danced. But in our ballroom competitions, we always offer Mambo. And it's part of the rhythm championship for the professional dancers and the amateur dancers. So we still do dance Mambo, but salsa, of course, is more of the social dance. I haven't talked about the different styles. There's so many different styles and ways of moving, whether you're going to keep it slotted or moving it around. That depends also on the level of the dancers. Dancers like to turn more, they may slot it. For the social dance, sometimes it's more rounded. It's not necessarily that you have to be doing one way to be in style. It's a social dance, you just enjoy yourself. But learn to feel the rhythm so you can adapt to the partner that you're dancing with. As ladies, we need to be able to dance these different rhythms. I teach my lady students to also follow their rumba, whether it started on the quick, quick, slow, or the slow, quick, quick. Be careful you're not trying to pull your partner or think that they're wrong. They're just dancing a different interpretation in the music. So I hope that clears up a little bit of the timing, and happy dancing.